A little disclaimer here. I'm also going to make sure to share the audio with my friends here so they can actually hear the movie. That's helpful. So this is actually our first time, sort of our first time watching it together. We watched it together in New York, but we were mostly concerned with watching the audience, I think, in New York, more so than we were necessarily watching this film. So this will kind of be a first time chance at being able to commentate on some things. Yep, David Cage, please don't sue us, as always.
Isn't he caught up in his own court battle right now?
He's caught up being given a Star Wars game is what he's doing right now. Of all the people in the world, they're like, hey, let's give Star Wars to Mr. Cage. And it's like, really?
Ooh, am I going to say this? Listen. I mean, you might as well give it to David Cage. It can't get any worse, am I right?
Hey, there it is. Yeah.
Hey, I saw Rise of Skywalker. What could David Cage possibly do to it?
Yeah.
All right. Now let me know once this begins whether or not it is too loud for y'all.
What are the numbers on Star Wars things? Still just the 3 good ones?
I mean, I liked...
He's awake.
The prequels, they're okay.
We're here to set you free.
Controversial opinion, I liked Last Jedi. I don't give a fuck. I thought Last Jedi was good. I liked it.
Jedi's also good.
Here's the thing. Who can even guess which 3 I'm talking about?
You're awake now.
The original 3?
No. For me, the only 3 good ones are A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Rogue One.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's it.
Chartreuse cameo.
Good morning, Tin Can.
Good morning, Gavin.
Can we
Those
talk
are the socks
for
I
a
wore to
long
my
time?
cousin's wedding.
Of course.
Can we talk for a long time about Gavin's socks?
I'll show you.
Maybe. Yeah. But those socks were a gift for my cousin's wedding.
I think it's...
Are they really?
Yeah, legit. Yeah. My
Is
cousin
that a
Greg.
fucking rose?
It's actually a fucking tulip, detective.
There's a difference?
Tulips are longer lasting than roses, making them more practical. Additionally, roses symbolize...
Now, really quick, I think... Hold on. I'm going to throw on some subtitles.
Yo, is that the hoodie from the first movie?
It is the
Yeah,
hoodie
from
of this
Evolution.
movie.
Mm-hmm.
The fucking like hoodie shirtless shit that like I've never seen anybody sleep in. Ever. Who sleeps with a hood on? With a hood off. You've got a shirt with a hood that's just off and you're sleeping. I don't get it.
Listen, my wife will sit at home, will come home and change into like comfortable home pajama clothes and put a hoodie on. And then just will fall asleep on the couch. And I'm like,
But like,
"You must be comfortable."
does she have the hood up when she sleeps though?
No.
Okay, all right. You've proven me wrong.
But she's
Well
not,
done.
she's also, to be fair, not going to bed in the hoodie.
That's the real psychopathic serial
That's
killer
crazy.
aspect of it.
Yeah, you put a hoodie on as pajamas, that's wild.
Yeah. And then specifically don't wear the hood. Like I just don't understand.
Yeah, why did you put this on if the hood's not part of it?
Yeah.
I'm looking for subtitles.
Because my hair needed to stay certain.
Carla's like glancing side to side if Carla's like, I do this, but I don't want them to make
Yeah.
I mean, I've done it before, but I wasn't going to say anything.
I don't like actually sleeping in long sleeves at all.
Me either. I don't like it either.
Depends on if it's cold. If it's cold, I sleep in long sleeves. I'll sleep in long sleeves, sweatpants, all of it.
I just blanket up. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's easier.
I'd rather, even if it's like, I'd rather sleep in just shorts and no sleeves. If it's warm enough, but I'll sleep in like pajama pants, a short sleeve or no sleeve shirt, and then just blanket me up.
Okay. Let's bring everything
I love that this
back.
is what we're talking about now while Michelle does something with the film.
I was explaining that I was putting subtitles on it. I just searched for my subtitles file.
Tulips
We could just read the
symbolize
script.
chaste, unconditional love, which seems more indicative of the way
I've
I
cut a
feel for
lot
you.
of this script out. I edited a lot of the lines out in editing.
Oh, fuck. It's Valentine's.
Of course, it's February 14th and Valentine's Day is all.
I know what day it is. I just don't.
This is my bedroom, IRL.
This day never meant anything.
Oh,
to me.
yeah.
And it still doesn't have to. All this flowers and hearts shit. It's for kids and gross couples.
Ah, yes, wouldn't want to be a gross couple.
That fucking face. His head shake. His little like. That shit always crack. Yeah.
It's not my first Valentine's Day. It's my second. I spent my first one with you as well.
Somebody needs to make a compilation of Maximilian's like
I'm
witty
not
head
just
shakes.
referring to the DC.
Please.
He's got so many.
Here,
Yeah.
at your
It's
apartment
something
for the
that's
first
so
time.
funny that
That's why you
like
think Valentine
he would
matters?
overdo it, and
Because
that
a year
that was
ago
probably
you
the
brought me
number one
dinner and
direction I
watched
would
I
give.
Robot
It's
on
just
my
like, don't
couch.
move your head
Rather
so much.
sounds like a Valentine's Day, isn't it?
We almost
It's
killed each
just
other
like
that day.
putting a
Certainly
hand
we
on a
were just exerting
bobblehead.
our
Just stop.
unspoken mutual attraction.
Nice try, smartass. But the only thing you were trying to exert was your fucking ego. What was it you wrote on my first quarter report? Oh yeah, that you held Detective Gavin Reed in the deepest disdain.
Perhaps it was mutual loathing, only because your first words to me were
Get the fuck out of my way, you plastic prick. Ain't no android's gonna be my
That's
partner.
so wild.
I know, right?
It's really weird.
Keep doing that voice mimic shit, and I'll go back to hating
I think
you
that might be
guts.
my favorite callback to DE, because like and that was a lot of things I cut. Honestly, was like there was kind of too many callbacks, and I was like, I don't want to be this
Never had a
self-referential.
traditional
But I
relationship.
like that one. I
But
think that
I wouldn't
one's
change
fun.
the past, any of it. It's ours.
That's also my kitchen
We
and
found
my
each
Ice
other
Godzilla that
in the
Summers
end.
gave me.
I don't like thinking about before.
We had to
Should've
D-Godzilla
said
the
or
kitchen,
did
but
or
we let that one
believed.
stay.
Don't know why you're so nostalgic for me threatening to punch a hole in you.
I didn't feel
Is
threatened.
that the
ever.
same tulip
Never
as the
succeeded.
one that Valerie gave
Broken
me?
your
The ones that you're giving are fake.
Ah,
I remember
Your
Those
shit
ones-
ain't real.
Those ones are real.
human to a girl that was alive. It was the
Like
deep
that-
There was
that-
the
nice life check.
we had the budget for one real tulip.
just
Yes.
They were quite wilted
forgot
when
all
I
that.
bought them,
Curious
so I
what
was
you
like, you
did
know
when
what?
you
These are
forgot.
not
You
going to
never say
survive a
that
trip
curiosity.
downtown.
Be
Let's
curious,
buy the
not
fake ones.
judgmental.
Fine. First thing I remember is that it
In the
was
background.
Not
horrible.
relate.
And you
I
had
can't relate to
smoke.
their relationship. They celebrate Valentine's Day. Weird.
Right?
Weird.
Weird.
Fucking capitalism.
Can't do it.
We're going to be late.
Can't do it, bro.
Detective. Are you ready to head to the scene, or should I throw you over my shoulder and
So
carry you?
there's so much greenery in almost every
Can't believe
scene,
They spent $500,000
which I was kind of
programming you to
accidental,
be
but
such an
I
asshole.
like because that
I'm
was
not
kind of the
certain
theme
whether
of
that's part of my programming
the
or an
marketing was like a lot of
adaptation to
greenery
Living View.
stuff.
Yeah, you plastic prick. Get a move on.
This location was also so versatile and so futuristic.
Also, fun fact for anybody ever watching a walk and talk,
they're
you
miserable.
walk so hilariously slow. And if you like look very closely, you can tell how fucking small the actors' steps are. They're tiny. They're always tiny. And
Literally,
it's
like,
hilarious.
Half a foot
You in
per
there?
step, yeah.
I'm watching the news
Yep.
on my HUD.
We're barely walking. We're barely walking. It's literally like,
Elijah Cage.
oh my god.
He invented androids.
Look,
Were it not
step,
for him, I wouldn't.
step, step.
Somebody asked me what the most difficult scene to shoot was on the director's Q&A on Monday, and I said it was this one. I hate walk and talks. They're absolutely miserable to carry an Alexa backwards. Like it's, especially with a broken easy rig.
One of the skaters in the area. We think he was dropped off sometime in the middle of the night. It's definitely an android, but we have no clue what model.
Step, step.
Hey, that's me.
Yeah.
I didn't find a wallet or anything to identify
It's
him.
Austin.
We'll probably need to run a scan.
Mm-hmm.
I love
Austin, a real trooper, just laying there while we do this scene.
I love how Carla is holding. Didn't Kyle give you that little monitor thing? It was actually like a piece of equipment that our AC had. It was like a flat screen little monitor he had. I was like, hey, that looks futuristic. Give that to Tina. We'll use that as a prop.
Although I appreciate your first name basis with Detective Reed, I'm not sure it suits me yet.
Evan Michael Pierce in the chat. You feel so stupid when you film those walk and talks. It's the worst.
Homicide, interested in Connor crimes.
Oh yeah.
The
This
workload's
does not
getting
look like
bigger.
a homicide to you. Favorite line of the whole
Me
movie.
too.
That's a pretty. I like that line
You
too.
don't need to remind me how advanced he is.
You gotta let that go, Reed. Like, he's a nice guy. And, like, he's good for the team. So is Connor, if you actually take the time to
I'm never gonna be buddy with Connor.
K Marks 94. Chris being like, dude, this homicide.
900 Fine, okay.
This not like a homicide to you, bro?
Just wish I could figure out why he still wears the creepy cyberlife threads.
God, I love that we got that jacket
He says
this
he's
time.
deviant, but he looks like he walked out of the fucking factory.
I don't know, Gavin. Like, you could ask him like a normal
Honestly, the
person.
costume work in
Yeah,
this
I'm
was
just
like
gonna
way
ask him
better.
if I could.
Partially because we bought that jacket, but also because Hannah Hatamaki did an excellent job.
I like that, like, at the end there, you kept us in just, like, we're just going back and forth. Like, we're about to start breaking.
I was so on the fence because I was like, it almost feels like it's out of character, but I was like, no, it actually transitions nicely. I was like, I ultimately was like, it's human
It's a
enough to feel
VV800.
okay.
Registered under
It's so close.
It's so close though, it's right on the edge. It's 2 frames away.
Yep.
I don't see any direct impact to any of his vital biocomponents. Although his internal battery appears to have been lost in the dismemberment.
Also, I don't know if anybody saw Maximilian's shoes in that wide shot. You almost like never see an actor's shoes in these movies, but he's wearing like tap shoes without taps.
Yeah.
Run a background on that idea.
He had to go back and get them
Figure
that
out
day,
who might
didn't
have
he?
wanted him dead.
Maybe.
We're gonna
Was
be on
that
our
this
way.
was the day I think he left his shoes behind, and we were considering like,
analyzing.
or maybe you left your shoes behind. I don't remember. Somebody
Yeah,
left their
handle,
shoes
bro.
behind and had to go back and get them, and
Yeah.
had to decide like whether
we're
or not
good
they're going to
here.
wear
I'll see you guys
Converse or
later.
Chucks or Converse. Or
I don't know if that
Come on,
was.
Tin Can.
No,
I want to overheat your process.
I didn't lose my shoes. I forgot a belt, and I had to go buy a new belt.
I do remember that.
I remember that. Yep.
Yeah.
I also remember wondering if you were going to get recognized in H&M, because you were basically in costume at that point.
Mm. It did not happen. There was one person there. Look at these plants.
Summers
those
with
are
the
nice
B-roll.
plants.
Summers was sitting next to me at the New York screening, and she was like, "Oh my God, my B-roll made it."
Valerie brought these up for you.
I told her
They're
not
fake.
to get me anything.
Those are fake. So fake.
Yes, you're aware.
Kevin going, "What are those?"
They're flowers, bruh.
The shoes, Maximilian shoes.
Oh.
Imposter flowers, snap. Yeah, this is probably my favorite scene of the movie in terms of like you could take this whole scene and just like it's its own short film.
You want to talk about it?
Start to finish.
About the case?
About seeing one of your people torn to pieces.
Just the lighting and everything, the acting
It's not
came
the
together
first
so
time
well.
I've seen a dead android detective.
But it's different this time, isn't it? Full-on homicide. In person.
I'm trying to talk so low because I just feel so dramatic right now. I've just got
It's
a lot
such
of
a
feelings
measured-
on the inside. Okay.
It's such a measured delivery.
This is one of those scenes where I think I clocked it a couple
I saw your
times. I was
face
like,
back
you gotta get out of your Gavin voice.
Use
Oh, yeah.
pale as your goddamn jacket. Don't act like you didn't feel something.
I feel
You in that
plenty,
pale jacket.
Detective Reed. Just because I'm uninterested in sharing it with you doesn't
There's
mean
something on your
I'm
close-up that's
deviant.
pretty cool. We
Every
kind of
day.
catch like a little bit of Blade
People get on
Runner
TV and say
replicant
androids
orange in your
are
eyes
alive.
that I thought was cool.
Yet I come here, and it's like you don't give a damn.
I don't know.
Wait, so is Gavin a replicant?
Light on
Confirmed.
your-
Confirmed.
What an interesting fan theory.
Gavin's a replicant. All
You
right.
being a capable partner.
Oh,
Run with that,
about
chat.
me?
Run with
Huh?
that.
Fine. You know what I did the first time I saw a dead body out in the field? I puked my guts out on the side of the crime scene because I'm a fucking person.
No. Because
Also, that's not a good thing to brag about, right?
No.
Like, that's contaminating a crime scene. You
Yeah,
should
bro.
definitely have been fired.
you expect me.
Every
to be
time he
the
says that, I'm like,
chapter
okay,
as you
well,
are.
don't let him on any
You're
more crime
not.
scenes.
Yeah.
Shut your fucking mouth. You don't know the first thing about me. Try spending years seeing bodies and drugs and your species trying to destroy itself.
I was programmed to destroy my species.
The badge.
So that badge was actually made by a fan from France. basically they came to me and they're like, "Do you want some props?" And I was like, "Sure."
Gavin.
So the one that's on Gavin's belt and that one were both made by, I believe their name is Innie.
Yes, I love you.
When we were watching this movie in New York, and they had that whole yelling match real close, I almost yelled, "Kiss!" in the theater.
At the time, I thought you were trying to get a rise out of me to flaunt that android.
I was like, Michael, you should probably not yell stuff in the middle of the screening.
It's not the room.
I wasn't.
Well, I can't blame you. I mean, if you thought I was messing with you, I probably gave you good reason.
Perhaps.
Those plants are dead now.
But I also misjudged you.
I'm very bad at watering them.
Faith.
Sorry, Austin.
You gotta take care of those plants.
I wouldn't have stuck with you otherwise.
I'm like, they're succulents. They don't need to water. And he's like, they do sometimes.
They do though. Yeah.
Tina knew what was going on way before either of us.
They do in fact need some water.
Gavin, calm down.
Done. T, the plastic prick is crazy.
Well, what did he do now? Charge or
So,
Sitting on the desk.
shout out to the woman who worked here.
God, what'd you say to him?
She opened the supply closet for us at the office and was like, "Do you want any of these pins or literally anything?" And so we raided the supply closet for the set deck for this.
Oh, you're worried about him.
I didn't realize when we were filming, but how many pens?
How many pins does Tina need?
She has like a gazillion
She has
pens.
4 things of
He was
pens.
proud to be in a person who was shouting his feelings from the rooftops.
Oh my god.
Seriously asking me why someone.
And we also like write a bunch of shit on the whiteboard in the background.
Yes, we
Yes.
did. All the
Yes, we did.
they can't tell.
One of the things I wrote on that whiteboard in the background are the lyrics to Wild Wild West.
I did see that.
Let him know you're here when he needs to talk.
Well,
and
I'm
leave
sure
him
I'll.
alone.
I think it's gonna come up again because I've got some. I've got footage of us writing on the whiteboard for the doc.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
You'll see some of it.
I remember I posted that picture of me writing
Happy
those
Valentine's
lyrics.
Day.
Aww.
I suppose that's why she suggested I bring you dinner later.
She's not my best friend for nothing.
So in the background, there's a red box. That is a box of Faygo Cola, which is a Detroit native. Like everybody in Detroit drinks that apparently, and they happen to sell it at Aldi around the corner. So I got some. It's one of them little Detroit set deck things.
Hey.
I'm also amazed how much the Arthur Ravenel Bridge looks like a bridge that's actually in Detroit.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I apologize. It was unprofessional of me to lose my temper in front of my colleagues.
It's okay. I mean, you should have heard when Hank got partnered with Connor. I think the wall shook. Look, Gavin.
So you talked about this
He's
during
come a
New
long
York,
way,
but you
he
haven't
hasn't
said it
ever really been
otherwise.
friendly, right?
Oh right.
What you
so
did during the
yeah.
scene.
Roll with it better than
Well,
most.
we were shooting this scene during one of the takes, during my coverage. So when it's just me, I was like, yeah, am I doing this? I'm gonna do this. So during one of the takes, when I was doing that line, I just looked at Maximilian and was like, Gavin.
You know, I met him once.
You know, and just started quoting one of the Google Translates, and Maximilian, we got through the scene because I did it and then I just kept doing it with the rest of the scene. And Maximilian was like blinked twice and then just kind of held it together. And then when we were done, he was like, what the hell are you doing? I was like, I don't know, man. We'll see if Michelle puts it in the movie.
Did not. That was no.
To bring them back to cyber life for diagnostics.
So somewhere out there is a take where I'm just doing the Google Translate lines instead of the actual lines.
For the gag reel,
Gun in
yes.
his hand and everything. But he didn't. He set the gun down and said, "An eye for an eye makes the whole world blind."
Do you think he was right?
Don't know if life is as easy as right and wrong, but I know he gave me a second
So this
chance.
riff that's
I'll try to
happening,
make
this
the best
music
of it.
that's happening in the background is the same music that played when you encountered Parker in Detroit Evolution.
Oh,
Not sure he'll hear it.
I did not notice that. That's pretty
He's got
cool.
a pretty good bullshit detector, but you show him who you are.
It is
He'll
called Marcus's Mercy for anybody curious to look it up on YouTube.
And then Maximilian cries because his coverage was over.
Yep.
Well, he had to put the LED around you first, but yes, then.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yep. That was one of the last. No, that wasn't my last thing. My last thing was the dropping the flowers off for Tina.
Yeah. I broke a table.
Yeah, Maximilian rapped first.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
He did, yeah. He did.
And then he had a whole moment. I have some footage of him in Begin Again, leaning on a balcony, looking over Charleston with a single tear going down his.
My God.
It's very dramatic.
There's a commercial campaign in there somewhere.
This is the only location from the original Detroit Awakening that was recycled for this film.
Oh.
This one spot. Every other place was unavailable. Or didn't work. Or we upgraded.
Also, the inside of this apartment is different than the door we're using. That's a different apartment.
Yeah, we used 3 different places for your apartment.
Some kind.
Because the living room and kitchen is my house, and then the porch is Rune and Whaley's house with Poe, and then this is our costume designer's facade.
What's funny is that I was not there for either time that we filmed any of this stuff, so I would not have known that.
Poe, the Void, Little Darkness. He's much bigger now. If you want pictures of Poe, Whaley and Rune now have a channel in the Discord where they share pictures and videos of him all the time.
He was just telling me about that last night.
But not in the way that you might think.
I like having a bigger porch to work on this time because it allowed us to actually get a wide, which we didn't have originally in the first film.
Where I was the one who tore him apart.
How does Nines know what he wants to eat?
Oh, I don't think that he particularly. He probably analyzed or agonized over it for an hour and a half.
Or he just can remember what Gavin orders?
Probably.
Without a choice.
Like if he has a photograph, like if he's got total recall, then he could just be like, oh, he's eaten from this place before because I've seen the bag and I've seen what his order is.
Costs most androids everything.
I was like, how embarrassing if you show up at somebody's door and it's like, hey, I brought you dinner as a romantic gesture, and then they're like, oh, I don't eat this.
If you're alive.
It's really nice that you did this. It's really nice that you did this, but I don't eat this.
Wouldn't it have been way funnier had he showed up like just with a pizza, just like straight up, just holding a pizza?
Yeah, like if you're gonna show up on someone's door with food, you better know what they like, or you better bring something that everyone likes.
Now I regret that that he did not just have a gigantic pizza.
Just huge. Just a huge pizza.
No, he brings over the bat-shaped calzone from Little Caesars.
I used mine to make
Just can barely fit it through the doorway. Just has to turn it sideways.
I'm not gonna give you my own subs.
Got you this Burger King kids meal. I wasn't sure what you wanted.
Yo, the Hershey pie from Burger King. Terrible
Dude,
for you.
listen,
So good.
listen to me though. You're right. It's a wonderful.
Addicted to caffeine and style is a choice.
I'm just saying, like those of you who are about to go on first dates soon, try it. Just show up to your crush's house. And be like, I brought you dinner. I really hope you like Subway.
Just like
that's what I brought.
Gavin opens the door and Nines isn't there, but he looks down and there's a pizza box, and inside is a pizza that's heart-shaped and has "I'm sorry" spelled out in pepperoni. Much shorter film.
It is a much shorter film. There's a scene at the DPD later where he's like, hey, thanks for the pizza, but I'm lactose intolerant, so don't do that again. Were you trying to kill me or what's up?
That's if I wanted to make a feature-length version of this with a second conflict.
Nines is fine.
Princess Diaries pizza. Yeah, that's what it was via Turner.
I think. I'll let you get back to your evening. Thank you for letting me in.
Don't need to dip out so fast. You stick around, maybe I'll put on a movie or something. You ever seen a movie?
No. I mean, I have access to tens of
No,
millions of streaming
I haven't.
in my HUD.
I haven't seen a movie, Gavin. Funny you should ask. Would you like me to stay so we can watch a movie?
Watch
Sorry. The melodrama just gets me sometimes.
Is it weird? I keep thinking about this. I guess I'm gonna bring it up. Is it weird that he's like, hey, you're my new robot friend. Let's get to know each other.
By
Let's
watching
watch a movie.
iRobot.
Let's watch a movie about robots. Is that weird? Like that feels a little I guess it's not weird, but it's a little bit like hey, I know a movie that has robot people in it.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a little weird. It's a little weird.
But
it would be like if I came over to someone's house. If I came over to someone's house and they were like, hey, I never hang out with black people. Do you want to watch Roots? Like, what? No, like we don't have to watch Roots because I came over. You know what I mean? Like,
you gotta write that sketch, man. Oh my god.
It's like, hey, Carla, come over. We're gonna watch Parasite because it has Korean people. Like, what? It's weird. It's a little weird, right?
It's a little weird. It's a little weird. It's pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a lot. There's some skin.
There's some skin. He's shirtless.
Yeah.
So this was Maximilian's last shot, which he promptly sobbed.
Look at this shot. Look how cool we look. Woo!
I've seen this shot drawn more than any other shot from this
There's
film.
a reason.
Yeah.
Look how cool that shot is.
Also digitally made older because Tim moisturizes, so his hand didn't look quite old enough.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Does he moisturize it?
That's so funny because I remember I remember you specifically cast someone's hand for that. It didn't work.
And like in the credits, it literally says Gavin hand old.
I mean, his hand was older than Chris's, but it wasn't quite as old as I wanted it to be. So I was, and still some people didn't clock it. Still some people were like, "Oh, I didn't realize it was old." I'm like, yeah.
That hand needs to get more into method acting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I told Austin to take all of the themes from the film and make them dubstep, and so this is what he gave me. I think it worked out pretty well. One last smooch says, I just thought Chris's hands weren't doing too good.
His hands are going through it. Those hands are.
These
hands are just a little sick. He just his hands would appreciate, some privacy at this time.
Mm-hmm.
And this is actually the original background that I used on the first DA as well, these triangles. The only difference is it was black and white before, and this time there's green. And purple, I guess, too. You can't kind of bop to it.
Credits!
So many co-producers, producers, associate producers, special thanks. I have gotten a couple messages from people who were like, why wasn't I in the special thanks? And it's like, because you didn't fill out a form and I didn't want a dead debut. But anybody who didn't end up, who wants to be in it, I will put in the Blu-ray version. I also have an American Sign Language version of the film coming out. It was supposed to come out.
Dope.
Yeah, it was supposed to come out this week, but I'm buried in live screamer stuff right now, so it'll probably be at the end of the month, end of April. That was done by Briar Nimbus on Twitter. They're an ASL interpreter, and they did an entire 25-minute long uninterrupted interpretation of the film. It's fascinating too because I would go to the middle of it and I could tell what character they were speaking as and what scene it was and what line it was just from the gestures and because they would embody the characters facial expressions and stuff. They would be in character when they were doing the interpretations. It's really neat.
So cool.
And of course, my favorite post.
The black place was a little weird, but you know what? It worked.
No.
We're done here.
It's over.
Done here.
Go home.
We've done. Go. Yeah, why are you still here?
Why are
Go
you still
home.
here?
Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here.
Can
Get out of here.
Can I stay?
Sure. Yeah. Whatever. Just lock up on your way up.
And, you know, I'm glad we did that too, because my YouTube comments have been pretty supportive so far about the fact that this is the last film. I've had a couple people who are like, wait, do more, do it again.
Only do this with your life and your artistic career. Only ever do this.
But the overwhelming majority of people, the absolute overwhelming majority of people have basically been like, you know what? This is a great ending. Thank you so much for 3 years of work. Like, we've really appreciated everything that y'all have done. Good luck in the future. Like, I'm gonna stick with y'all, and I'm excited for what comes next. Like, that has been the overwhelming, you know, consensus.
Those are the real fans right there.
Yep.
That's that real fandom right there.
Look, you know, every journey comes to an end, or you end up introducing magic powers like Riverdale. Do you really want us to be like Riverdale?
That's what they've been fucking doing on Riverdale lately?
Yeah, apparently they all have X-Men like, it's like Fantastic Four out this bitch, I guess. I don't know.
Mean,
like,
guys, canon.
But guys, like, hear me out. Let's give it like 20 years, and then let's do like 3 prequels, okay? And then, yeah, and Michelle can write and DP all of them as well at this time, and then maybe like 10 years after that, we'll do like 3 more.
Right.
Sound good?
That are about Gavin and Nine's children. Somehow.
Doing the exact same fucking things.
Well, what's cool about all of this is if people want more of these characters, they can just write fan fiction about the characters.
Mm-hmm.
Look, in theory, go make your own movies. Like, like, go make your own Detroit movies. Like, it's, you know, it's your turn.
Your turn. That's a good way to phrase it. Your turn.
You've done this. It's your turn to pick up the Detroit ball and carry it.
Now it's your turn.
Somebody in the chat just says, ew, Riverdale. I love it. So we've got some questions here in our question box already for the cast. You have some questions? You always have some questions. Picklily is asking, was that an actual cigarette? And if so, how hard was it to smoke? No, it was not, but Chris can answer the second question.
So inhaling anything into your mouth or lungs that is not air is bad for you and does not taste good and sucks. And so I was not burning nicotine and cigarettes, which have like tons of fucking chemicals and all that shit in them, but I was burning some form of grass in paper. And so
specifying legal grass in paper.
Totally legal grass. Yeah, they were herbal cigarettes, but they're fucking gross. They taste terrible. Don't recommend it. Don't do it. It's not good. Doesn't taste good.
Just the power of your acting abilities that you managed to not show on camera how miserable you were going.
Oh, well, because we went through a whole pack. Like it was like we did a lot of takes. So yeah, we went through a lot of them, and I started like because like at certain points I'd have to be like all the way through one, so we were like tearing them in half, starting them halfway.
Yeah.
All that crap. So yeah, I'd probably say the least favorite part of the movie is smoking those fucking herbal cigarettes.
Great. The only cigarettes I have ever smoked were for a play.
Were they also herbal?
Nope. It was a real cigarette. The only cigarette I've ever smoked was a few seconds in Mary Zimmerman's Metamorphoses.
I tried for the Gavin cosplay shoot I did last year. Like I tried just to get like some kind of smoke going. I literally couldn't do it. I was like, how does this work? I can't. What's happening? And Austin was just like, it's not hard. What, like, just do the thing. And I was like, I can't. It's like I'm physically not wrapping my brain around how this works.
So people are like, wait, on stage you really smoke a cigarette? So like, not only that, but like I was bad at it. So the first rehearsal where they were like, here, use the cigarette. Afterwards, the director was like, well, Michael, it's clear you've never smoked a cigarette. Mm-hmm. So during our break, my director was like, hey, Michael, go outside with the smokers and like watch them.
Learn.
Go look at what it looks like to like naturally smoke a cigarette as opposed to someone who has only seen the concept explored on television. So I know it was like my freshman year of college. So I am like 19, standing outside next to all the like seniors, watching them smoke silently, just looking around like, okay, this is weird, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this is an interesting one from Lovely Catherine. If you could go back and change or add one thing in the film, what would you do? Now, granted, for me, this is a remake, so I basically did all the things that I would change. But I think this is an interesting question for y'all as the cast, because I think that, you know, we've had some distance from the shoot, and, you know, now being able to see how it all came together. Was there anything that you kind of would do differently?
No, that was pretty great.
It did feel really good. I think the only thing I probably would have done differently, there's just something like it's just not in the shot, is when Tina hands me the clipboard and it like says like G+9 on it, I throw the clipboard. Like I like toss it down. I wish I'd thrown it over my shoulder. And that was just one of those moments where I, as the actor, was not aware of the frame. And that's like just probably the only complaint I have about it. It was just like, rather than throw it forward, I wish I'd done over the shoulder.
I like that it's audio only, actually. I think that it would have been a little too slapstick had we actually seen it fall down. So being able to edit it so it's just like you just kind of.
This isn't about what you would change, Michelle. It's about what I would change. Okay,
it's about what you would
I
change.
wouldn't have used it, is what I'm saying.
Well, but that's not what anyone asked.
That's not the question.
What we would change.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Carla.
I mean, the clipboard thing, I think, again, with the writing, what was I writing? G+9. But I wrote something else on my first take. I just don't remember what it was, but it was repetitive of like the same thing plus. So I was kind of not thinking as Tina. I was just kind of going through like, oh, this is what I have to write, but I was out of it. So it's not in the film, but had I gone back, I would have paid more attention to what I was doing as Tina.
I don't really have anything in this movie that I would change. Although I did, this is completely never going to happen and it's kind of meaningless, but I actually thought of something that I wish had been in Detroit Evolution.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, I guess.
Are you gonna share?
I was thinking about. I don't remember when I was thinking about this, but I was thinking about DE, and I was thinking about Chris's arc through DE, starting with that scene with Parker, and then ending with shooting Ada, and I was like, oh, that arc never really felt like it was completed. It felt like there was like one beat missing. And I was like, oh, I know what the beat could have been. When Ada attacks Nines, since we're all at that bar, I was like, oh, there would have been nice if there had been like a scene where she's escaping and I try to shoot her but can't.
Yeah, that would have filled that out.
Well, I know you have always wanted to have that shot in a movie of you walking towards the camera, firing and firing and firing, and like that was one of the things with the D3 script. You were like, oh my god, I think we're gonna get to have me do that shot as I'm shooting Richard as he drives away in the car. So yeah, I know the motivation for this.
I mean, I wouldn't have fired, right? Like in that scene, she would have been escaping, and I would have been like, stop, and then like had a beat on her, but not taken the shot, and then later been like, oh great, now I can actually take this shot and shoot her. I don't know. It was something I thought of the other day. We're never going to change it, so you know.
So by the way, I'm seeing some questions in the chat right now. If you can't use the Q&A for some reason, some of the mods are moving your questions over into the suggestion box. I'm only looking at suggestion box for questions right now. I'm not looking at the chat. So either put your questions in suggestion box or tag a mod to put your question in suggestion box if you cannot access it. Speaking of, our lovely mod Pillowcat has given us a question from It's Rocious. Are we getting any of those deleted scenes on YouTube? I don't think we have any deleted scenes from this movie.
From DRA, no.
We have
Pretty much
deleted
everything's in it.
lines. Like, there's a lot of lines I cut, little pieces and stuff here and there. But we don't have any deleted scenes. I will say we'll get unused footage on YouTube. So some people's coverage, hey, you might actually see Chris throw the clipboard away in frame in one of these unused pieces of footage. But other than that, yeah, we'll have a couple reels of that, and we will have gag reels, of course, all coming after I do live screamers. After we do live screamers, because yeah, that's literally all that's. We shoot in like 10 days, so that's about it for me in terms of April in the next few weeks. But at the end of the month in early May, we'll be able to do that. Plants Baby's asking about script dropped on Patreon. No plans right now, but maybe soon. I've done that in the past. I've put our scripts on Patreon for $1 members. So that will probably be coming eventually, but I don't have any plans for it set in stone yet. Yeah. Let's see. Looking for questions. Becky,
I was about to say, I've got A's. Where are the Q's?
Becky Elaine asks, what would you say the span of time in the ending montage? I mean, I don't read Detroit Absolution. That's all in there. Let's see.
Good point.
I have a lot of like technical questions in this, and not actually like artistic questions.
Oh.
Let me see.
Look, we're right here. If you're gonna ask us any questions, now's the time.
Trash Gavin asks, what was it like to get back into character, and how hard or easy was it to do so?
Good question. It wasn't super hard. One thing I know that Maximilian and I have talked about was approaching this material that we'd already done in a way that wasn't in a way that was true to the material itself, without it being, too referential to Detroit Evolution, because canonically that wouldn't have happened yet, right? So we had to play these characters where they were, as opposed to where they end up after DE. So that was, without just going through the motions of giving the same performance. And a lot of things help with that, having different actors to work with, having Chris and Carla in those scenes this time, which we did in the first time, was very helpful in giving those scenes different feelings. Particularly the crime scene felt very different this time doing it. But I'm really happy with the way that it came out. But finding the characters now for us, we've been playing the characters for like 3 years, so it's very easy to fall into that, to who that character is. We just have to be true to the circumstances of that time.
Well, I think this question is particularly interesting for Chris too, because I realized that you've basically played 4 versions of Gavin Reed at this point, between the 3 different sort of where he is in time and then Zen Gavin too. So even though you're falling back into Gavin for this, what kind of changed internally with okay, we're going back to almost like Neil Newbon's Gavin, for the first part, and then post DE, it's like, okay, I'm a little more sappy, I'm a little bit more healed. What was that like?
I mean, yeah, you get to play the 2 extremes. I got to play the character at the very beginning of his journey. I got to play the character at the very end in the same movie. And that yeah, that was really really interesting, because again, getting to play post Evolution Gavin again, those scenes were my favorite to shoot, because it was only nice things are happening, only nice things, just nice things, because things are good. And I was like, that's a privilege that never gets that, there's always some shit going down. And then Yeah, jumping back into like it is basically like video game Gavin in that one, and getting to find, but also like we're kind of recontextualizing what video game Gavin is feeling, because video game Gavin is very much like a bigot, like the whole, and so like, and that's kind of all where his arc ends in that game. But this was like, no, he like, you know, the conversation at the kitchen table is like, oh, he was actually like trying to reach out and be nice, but he doesn't know how to be like all of that. So it was definitely really fun to come back and do it. And I'd never gotten to reprise a role in a film before. So yeah, I loved doing it, and it was a lot of fun to work on. I feel like I actually had quite a bit to do.
Carla?
Probably just being back in Charleston with the same people, and then putting on the uniform. It almost immediately kind of puts you into character for me. Yeah, I think that was it for me.
I got a question from, where did that go? Casey says, I believe, if I remember that correctly. It was about costumes. Like, what was your favorite costume in the film? And I think they specified outfit you wore, but I would say that because a couple of you had very limited costume choices, you can pick anybody's outfit. It doesn't have to just be yours.
I love the Gavin jacket. I bought one myself.
Yeah.
That jacket was fucking dope. I was like, this is sick. I love, because I think I wore my friend Jordan's jacket.
Yeah.
In Detroit Evolution. He and I met up. We were for drinks the other day, and like I had on the new one and he had on his. It was fun. But yeah, so loved that jacket. I fucking bought one. It's great.
I mean, look, my clothes in Detroit Evolution are like the bar scene, I guess the bar scene through the end of Detroit Evolution. I mean, that's cool, but all the clothes in Detroit Evolution are just my clothes. Like, that's just my jacket. So I like that jacket. I will say it was really cool having my outfits in Detroit Evolution. It just, you know, I can't really pick either of the cop uniforms because they're cop uniforms. But
fuck the police.
Yeah, you know, fuck the police. But I will say that the one in the cop uniform in DRA looks great. Like, it's really well done. Yeah, and I mean, look, I just, again, really love our final hero shot. Like, that's such a cool shot. And I like the outfit I was wearing.
I feel like we were talking about whether or not you should keep the headphones or not, and like whether or not wired headphones would still be a thing in 2030. And I was like, yes, they will be. There's no way we're giving that shit up.
Nope, absolutely. Yeah, because
we're not giving them up.
Because I keep, when I'm on set, I keep my headphones with me because I go back and forth between listening to music and I was like, I should put these down, right? And Michelle was like, oh, I don't know, maybe keep them. Let's see what it looks like. And I was like, oh yeah, great. And then it ended up looking pretty good. So yeah, I dig it. Somebody in the chat's like, headphones live scream reference confirmed.
Oh, that somebody is Evan Michael Pierce.
That's very funny. That's very funny. Well done.
Yeah, he's got the VIP badge for a reason.
Vintage headphones to go with the vintage Foo Fighters shirt.
Yeah.
Sure.
Chris Miller.
He's not giving up. He's not giving up those headphones. Chris Miller listens to Vinyl at home.
So Tyler Kind, hello, we met you in New York, and Tyler Kind did the Part of Our World karaoke,
which was so cool.
So cool.
Oh my god, it was awesome.
I can't wait to put the Disney sing-along version of that on the YouTube channel.
That was amazing.
How does everyone feel that the hero shot has turned out to be the moment, the scene that has resonated so much with the community? I will
My
say.
question is, does everybody know what's happening in that shot? Because that shot is technically us watching the DPD close down.
Well,
no,
Well,
it's
it's
not
us
closed
leaving.
down, but
Us leaving. Yeah.
Yeah. It's our last day. It's all of us quit. We've all quit.
Yeah. That's
Which was
what
a
that
plot
is.
point
That's what
in
that
Detroit
moment is.
Absolute.
Yeah.
Absolution.
Yeah,
Absolution. Yeah.
Some
In Detroit
people,
Absolution, we all quit at the end of the movie.
some
and that's
people realize and some people don't. Like I saw somebody was like, "Oh, Tina's in plainclothes. She made detective," and it's like, no, that's not what that's about. But
although she does. She does make detective in Absolution, right?
no, she quits and goes to law school.
Mhm.
Oh, that's right. I was like, she and I are investigating.
No, she's still an officer. It's like
She's still an officer. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Anyway, it's been a long time since I read that script.
Yeah, I read it a couple weeks ago. I was surprised by how much I liked it. I was like expecting it to suck, and I was like, this sucks less than I thought it would. Maybe I understand why people like this. But
that's us quitting. That's us quitting the DPD.
Yeah, that's that hero shot.
And
that's what that is.
That's a hero shot, and which is why we keep calling it a hero shot. But also too, like, how do we feel about it being the shot that resonates? Look, I've been saying since I saw the movie that it's the coolest shot we've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I was sitting next to him in the theater. It's true.
Yeah, it's my favorite shot out of all of the movies. We look so fucking cool in it. I don't have enough good things to say about it. I have just that clip saved on my phone. like I think it's amazing. It's, God, every so often something happens and I'm like, well, I'm never gonna look this cool again. And like, so like, it's that shot, and it's the poster I have. People who have been in my house will know what I'm talking about. But the poster I have of the Royale. So like me on that boxing poster, and then this shot, and I'm like, well, fuck. It's all downhill after this. I keep eating.
I mean, like, the shot of you with a knife through your head is pretty sweet too.
I mean, look, it's cool. Not as cool as that hero shot, though. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm really glad that shot's resonating with everyone else, and that's the fan art we're getting, because I'm in love with that shot, and I'm in love with everything everyone is doing with it visually. Like, y'all are keeping your boy fed. It's lovely.
Mm-hmm. Any other opinions on community reactions to that? Okay, well, I'll move on. Personally, I've really enjoyed seeing that is the shot that has kind of become the most drawn and most resonant, because, you make a Read 900 movie and you expect that everybody's going to draw the kiss, everybody's going to draw the cute stuff. And I really haven't seen that. I haven't seen a lot of that. I haven't seen a lot of the focus on the couple. I've seen more focus on the team, the squad, like all four of you. And I think that that's really awesome, because y'all all deserve love. And like, it's all for everybody.
It's also dope because it's a moment outside the original Detroit Awakening.
That's true too, and I think that might also be why it's resonating so much, is because it's one of the few things in the movie that's completely surprising, and that wasn't something that people thought was going to be there. I have a lot of questions from a lot of different people that basically amount to hardest scene to shoot, most challenging lines to get through, all that sort of stuff. So, Chris, you've already talked about your easiest stuff to shoot. What was sort of your hardest scene to shoot, hardest moment, and same for Carla and Michael?
I mean, like, definitely the break room scene. That was, because there's just like, I mean, like, that's the scene, like that's the big one. It's like the whole thing, and there was a lot of prep going into that, and Maximilian said stated at the fan event that he was having a moment prior to, so there was one, like, it's it's a very vulnerable scene, there's a lot going on, and then like the people who were like doing that scene were also quite vulnerable at that time, and so there was a lot of just like patience that needed to be found on set, and everybody was really cool. And also it was like I would say credit to the people you chose to bring on set, with Marcy and Lion and Captain Andor and Warden being there, because having outsiders be around for a scene that takes so much effort and like takes so much vulnerability, like that's not a thing like that you like doing. I don't want people around watching me work. I don't let people in my room while I'm self-taping, and certainly not when I'm shooting a major scene. But having them around, they were as respectful as they could have been. It was honestly like they weren't there at all. And everybody also on set. That's another thing too. This wasn't a day where only Maximilian and I were on set. Everyone was there. Mm-hmm. So, and everybody was completely professional, completely respectful. So that wasn't even a factor at all. It was just dealing with the stakes of the scene. So that was really nice, and that was the thing I was incredibly thankful for.
Michael?
What was the hardest thing to film?
This shit's too easy for you, man.
Okay, look. No, it really isn't. And a lot of live screamers is going to be really hard to film. There were things in DE that were really hard to film. This one was easy to film because, like I said, the only scene, the hero shot and the scene where I'm giving Tina the flowers are the only things that I hadn't filmed before.
Well, we talked about this on Patreon the other day, that like the hardest thing was not phoning it in. And I think
right.
for us, that was kind of the hardest part for sure.
Yes. So there wasn't a hard scene to film. Making the movie itself was difficult just because you don't want to get lazy. And there was that possibility that I was concerned that I would walk on set and just sort of like sleepwalk through recreating scenes we'd already done. And fortunately, there was enough new stuff happening. The circumstances were different. The settings were different. The actors in scenes with me were different. So that really, really helped make those scenes very easy to do, very fun to do. But yeah, the hardest part was taking, particularly the scene with me and Maximilian, and bringing something fresh to it, and giving it the same attention. And a part of that, but a part of what makes that easy is that Maximilian and I have both grown as performers since the last time we did those scenes. So yeah, it sounds so stupid, but like filming it actually was made very easy for a performance, because it's stuff that I've already done, and because I'm working with people, Maximilian, Chris, Carla, who are so talented, so easy to work with, who I love working with. So it really did make every scene like easy to do. The hard part was making sure that it wasn't too easy, I guess.
And Carla?
The hardest scene, I talked about this with basically everyone afterwards, I think. But the scene with Gavin, just only because it had been a very long day, and that scene was like the last scene of the day. It was the very last scene of the entire movie. It was a wrapping shot. So there was just a lot of pressure that I felt to do it right in as little takes as possible. And I'm terrible when it comes to dealing with pressure. So in terms of that, that's why it was the hardest scene for me, I guess. And the easiest, I guess, the scene where Chris comes to me with the tulips.
Yeah.
Just because it was just my back, and I was sitting there, and I was,
That reminds me of an outtake that we'll have. It'll be in the gag reel. But the first, so I didn't give Michael like any direction for that because I think it wasn't in the script because originally we were gonna have Tiare Solis, Valerie, come to set and be Valerie to bring the flowers, but because of COVID reasons, like she couldn't make it. So like last minute, like, you know, a few days before the shoot, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna have Chris Miller step in and be the person who brings them and references, hey, Valerie brought these up for you. But I think I don't even know if it was in the, I don't think you had dialogue. I don't think I'd given you anything. I was just like, hey, just stick around. I need you to like be in this scene. And so I think I gave you the direction of just like, hey, say Valerie sent this up for you. You know, here you go. And so you put the flowers down, and she's delivering her dialogue, and you're walking away.
Oh yeah, 100%.
While she's talking, and I was like, Michael, you got it. You
I didn't know. I was like, because I got nothing. I was like, wait, okay, I'll just come in, drop these off, and leave. Right? That's what you told me to do. And I was like, oh wait, does she have lines? I'm so sorry.
Oh man. And so and the other, we also shot a version where you put the flowers down and said nothing, and you had a moment with each other where you looked at each other and you're like, oh, these aren't for me. Valerie, yeah. And so so that one was the one that almost made it in, Mr. Michael improvisational Smallwood. But I was like, I think I like it straight better, but I considered putting in the awkward she thinks that you're bringing her flowers moment. It was almost in the film.
Oh, that's so funny. Put that in the gag roll.
Oh, absolutely. That will be seen at some point. Deviant Ella asked, what motivated or kept motivating you to make these films? They added me. I actually think this is an interesting question for some of y'all because, you know, obviously I have the motivation to make the films for, you know, my own, you know, desires, reasons, whatever. And particularly Detroit Reawakening, I had the desire to, you know, remake this film and be able to delete the original off my YouTube channel, which I did. Huzzah. And I'm still getting questions about, hey, why'd you delete it? I'm like, I'm not unpacking this. But I think it's an interesting question for y'all. What keeps y'all coming back to these? As actors, when I called y'all up and said, hey, I want to remake Detroit Awakening, what was the thing that made you say yes?
Michelle keeps staging basically sit-ins in my living room. Keeps coming to my house, sitting down, talking about these movies, and she won't leave. It's like 4 hours later, and my wife's gone to bed. It's like 3 a.m, and she won't leave. She will not leave my house.
I promise I'll leave by midnight next time.
That's a lie. It's a lie. You're not gonna. It's okay. It's perfectly fine. You're welcome to stay at my house as long as you need every time, but you're not going to. No, I'm kidding. Obviously. Look, well, you know, the motivation to do the original one was because I liked Detroit Become Human, and Michelle liked Detroit Become Human, and I was like, that sounds like a really cool project. Let's do that. I want to be a part of that. The motivation to do DE was that, like, we're going to make more of these movies. Like, we're going to make a bigger version of this movie. And it was, you know, really, you know, I'm like, great. And then, you know, Michelle's motivation to make DRA is, is one of the reasons to make DRA. But the other reason to make DRA is to work with Chris and Carla again. Like, and Maximilian and like what there needs to be no other reason. You know, basically it's like, hey, we're gonna make a movie and like everybody's in, cool, say nothing else, I'll show up.
Yeah, that exactly. They're like, oh yeah, we're gonna make a movie. You're gonna everybody you liked from the last one is there. And and by the way, you liked everyone. And I was like, oh right, great. Oh, and we'll pay you. I was like, oh shit, you're gonna pay me to come make a movie with all my friends?
Yeah,
I'll go do that. Why not? Come on. Yeah. The fuck.
Carla?
Same with me. I've expressed this so many times repeatedly that the people that are involved in this, the people that have been involved in this journey are what I feel like I have gained the most out of this journey as well. I'm a very introverted person. It takes a lot for me to make a connection with certain people, and with this certain cast and crew, for some reason it happened instantly and it kept going. And Michelle contacted me asking, like, will you come do this movie with us in summer, and like, can you make the time? And I was like, yeah, please, like, I will go for nothing. Like, I just want to be back with these people and be making this. So
yeah, see, Chris, some people don't need to be paid.
That's good for some people.
That's good for some people. Well, and I've said this before too. Like, look, Michelle's one of my best friends in the world. Anything she asks me to do, I'm gonna do it. Like I'm there for whatever she wants to do, because like, girl's a genius, and I like working with her.
All right, next question. We have a question from Alex Sniff about improvisation. Did you improvise any lines? I don't know, aside from that moment we pointed out at the crime scene, if any lines were necessarily improvised, but there are a couple little character moments and things that came together, while we were on set. And I could point out a couple of them that I know of, but I'm going to give you a chance to, if you remember anything you did that you came up with on set.
I mean, yes, obviously it's not in the movie because, but I did improvise some lines, much to Maximilian's surprise. I mean, the entirety of me and Carla's flower delivery scene
it's sort of improvised, yeah.
Is sort of improvised. And yeah, I mean, and like, I'm sure Michelle has like a bunch of alternate dialogue between Chris and I having that argument.
I have about 6 takes of y'all just riffing on each other, just like, talk to him like a normal person. Like a normal person? Yeah, are you a normal person?
Yeah, like, look, we've gotten through the scene, and until you yell cut, we're gonna keep doing the scene.
Gradually devolving into
And also too, that moment was very funny. That moment was built for that anyway, because it was basically like, go over here, have this conversation, and then like there's a bit happening, and then we have to rejoin the scene.
Yeah. So
like, once we got through the dialogue, we're still over here. Our mics are hot. No one's yelled cut. We're gonna keep talking until we make the trek back over. So yeah, I'm sure
those two steps.
Two steps back into the conversation. Yeah. I'm sure there's a bunch of alts in that stuff.
Mm-hmm. I know that the big one. I didn't fuck around with lines as much, other than that scene with Michael. But really the finger guns to the head moment, that was, yeah, because Gavin does that in the game, mm-hmm. like, but with like an actual gun, because he's a fucking sociopath.
No, he does it with his fingers too.
He does it with his fingers?
Yeah.
Okay. You sure?
Yeah, in the bedroom scene.
Okay. But yeah, that on set, I was like, I'm gonna do this, and I wasn't sure exactly when, but when we like working through the break room scene, because we did quite a few takes of that, and I'm not sure when I started doing it, but
I think it's from the beginning. I think when we were initially sitting down and talking about how we were going to run the scene, you threw that out.
All right, we did stage a lot of that.
Yeah, because it all had to be staged. So I think when you said, because we needed to motivate you to get closer to him, I think,
right.
And I think that was your motivation for, this is how I'm going to get up in his face.
How do we get these two characters into the same close up? I'm like, well, okay.
Yeah. I will also give you credit for the other getting up in his face in the kitchen, because the fake out kiss moment, I think, was
yeah, that's right.
Because it was sort of like the way I wrote it in Irrevocably Linked is something like they put their foreheads together like through that dialogue, and they just sort of sit there like foreheads touching and have that little cute dialogue. And I think the way that y'all were sitting, like it wasn't gonna work that way. It would be weird if y'all just like sat there with your foreheads sitting together. And I think I was just
So like, do you guys want to have a conversation like this close to my face this whole time? Yeah.
How's it going?
Yo, Michael, how's your week
what
been?
would you like for? It's been, you know what? It's been pretty great. It's been pretty good.
Two
Yeah,
men
you
who
know,
have
pretty,
never
pretty
known
low key.
romance. And so I think I just cut it, and I think from that point you were like, well, I want to do this thing where I'll just lead in and then like pull back, and that was great. And I think that I obviously like it made for a very, very good preview still a few months ago that people really latched onto. And then one of the most talked about moments from the film, I think.
Oh yeah, all right, yeah.
Can I ask a question about an improv moment? Did you? I assumed Chris improvised readjusting the Godzilla.
Oh yeah,
that's true. That was also true.
Because that felt like a just unmotivated, like that just felt like a found moment.
Yeah, that was and definitely not in the script. Definitely not motivated by anything in the script, and because we were de-Godzilla-ing the whole place, and then we were like, "What can?" And I think we were just like, "Can we keep one? Like we gotta have one." And then we elected to be that one. I was like, "Well, you better put it in the shot because I'm gonna touch it. Otherwise, I'm just gonna reach out of frame for no reason." But yeah.
Yeah, I like the idea that Gavin is slightly meticulous about his fridge Godzilla.
Yeah. It's like, oh, her foot's a little over the edge. She's got to be pushed back. I don't want her to fall like last time.
Emma asked, did you all cry when saying goodbye knowing it would be the last movie filmed together with all of this cast? I mean, I would say that our wrap was definitely emotional, and luckily we were all there for it. All four of us, all four cast members were on set then. So it wasn't like the Detroit Evolution, Michael had rapped days before. Carla had rapped a couple days before.
Sucked. Michael rapping at 4 a.m. at the bar, and
day 3.
No one told me. I was pissed.
Yeah, Chris was really upset. I was upset. Like Carla, like we were all upset because we were like, wait, what? Wait, am I done? I'm done.
What the fuck?
And like I don't think I actually even saw. I don't think I saw Chris again after that night.
No, you saw Carla again at Denny's.
Carla and I went to Denny's together and hung out, which was lovely. But yeah, I didn't get to see Chris after that. It was just like, oh yeah, Michael's done. Night, everybody. It was like night. Yeah, it was like 5 in the morning, 6 in the, it was like the sun was coming up. We're all like, wait, what? This one was this rap was a little bit better. I mean, look, yeah, not only was the rap like when we rapped on set really emotional, but then
saying goodbye the next day was way worse.
Saying goodbye the next day, yeah, like we went back, we watched the greatest movie ever made, Transformers, and had a hangout where legitimately I kept delaying leaving because I didn't want to leave.
Oh, I remember Carla, like when you were leaving and we were all lining up to say goodbye to you, Carla got last in line. She was like, I can't do it. I don't want to do it. Terrible goodbyes.
Yeah, it was really hard. It was really hard.
And it's tough because I we know we'll see each other again, but it's like when is the next time like all of us are gonna be in the exact same place? Like, and especially like after just getting to like hang out and watch movies and just like do tarot readings and shit like the whole night. Like, come on. Yeah. That's like those times get, you know, a little bit fewer and far between just the older we get. So like it really means a lot, and that's why it was a lot harder this time.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's see. Piccolo's asking, are there any Easter eggs no one has noticed yet? I'm horrible at coming off the top of my head with things like that. I think everybody's pretty much noticed everything. I think the Faygo in the background is the only Easter egg that nobody had noticed yet, and because it's so vague. It took a while for people to realize that Chartreuse was there. I was a little surprised that cameo didn't get didn't get.
And everybody knows that that's the same great white mug and everything, all that.
Oh, yeah. So a lot of people have definitely pointed out that it's the same mug, which actually, I guess, leads me to another question here. Somebody asked, what is your favorite reference in the film to either Awakening, Evolution, or D3?
That stupid fucking hoodie that Gavin wears to sleep.
Oh, the fact that sleep hoodie came back?
Yeah.
Nine's doing Gavin's voice.
Nine's doing Gavin's voice. Yeah, that one's probably the best one from Detroit Evolution. And in terms of D3, I like the scene where he throws the white shirt. Actually, I think that was one of my favorite scenes in Detroit Absolution, because it's the moment where, for those who haven't read the script, it's the moment where Nines tells Gavin about Zen Gavin. And so that's why the shirt's white, is because like it's a joke of just like, you know, you looked good in white. And so, yeah, that was that one. And then, like, somebody earlier was asking, like, did I want to film the Nines and Gavin dancing in the living room scene from Detroit Absolution? It's like, yes, but the living room, like that day was already going so long. I think we actually even cut like some stuff. There was other stuff that was supposed to be in the montage. There were 2 other things that were supposed to be in the montage. There was supposed to be all 4 characters in the DPD break room kitchen, like talking in uniform. And then there was also supposed to be Gavin like having a bad night, like basically having like a nightmare on the couch or something like that, and Nine's like waking him up and like being there for him or something like that, because I kind of wanted to show like the harder parts of the relationship too, but we just ran out of time. Like we didn't have time anymore with the house stuff to be able to shoot that, so we had to pare it down that day. So I guess that's something new that people don't know. I haven't looked at the script in many months, so there might be some other things in there that it's like, oh shit, we didn't catch that either. I totally forgot. It's been so long from production to post-production, so much longer than Detroit Evolution. I mean, this movie, I had 2 more months of post than I even had for DE. This is a great question from Tyler Kind. As you all move forward from this Detroit era of your careers, what is something that you will take with you?
Good question. All of you.
Oh.
That's true, though.
I mean,
like
really?
Like, yeah.
Like, really, we'll take all of you, you know? It does sound kind of corny, but like, obviously we'll have memories. Obviously we'll all have grown as performers. Obviously we've all made what to me are some of the most important friends I've ever made. But it's really, I don't think I can stress enough how important all of you will be to our careers moving forward. Because now, you know, in a lot of ways, everything that we do after this, we know that we have people rooting for us. We know we have people who are going to follow what we do next. And we know we have people who'll remember what we did to get wherever we go next. The fact that so many of you have been with us since, you know, we dropped Detroit Awakening, since nobody knew who we were. And so many of you have been there from the very beginning. So many of you have joined at the different parts of our journey. So many of you have given us so many firsts in our career that cannot be, I don't have the words to give them their proper weight, but everything we do after this will have come off of this platform of such wonderful engagement, such incredible support, such love from all of you, that we're set up to like we've got a really cool army behind us. So thank you. That's what I'm gonna take from this.
I'm gonna clip that whole speech and I'm gonna put it on my Instagram and be like, if anybody wants to know how I feel about this man said it best.
What did I just say?
I mean, I absolutely agree with that. Obviously, I think that, that the memories and the community is the most important part. I would say personally, in terms of what I'll take forward, I mean, I can't even unpack how much I have learned in terms of how to be better at this. And the ways that I have, like every movie, I took a different, primary lesson. And I would say that the one that I took on Detroit Reawakening was, or I guess the lesson I learned on Detroit Evolution that I applied to Detroit Reawakening was always get 2 takes of every setup. Basically, I've spent a lot of my filmmaking career cramming as much as possible into every day for as little money as possible, because I had to. And this one, which I had a little bit more budgetary freedom to be able to be less stingy, but also like do more shoot days and have more time to breathe. I was like, you know what? I don't have to rely on my editor self to fix the movie later. Which is kind of how I've always been a filmmaker, is like, I'll shoot what I shoot and then I'll fix the movie in post and I'll assemble something that works. Whereas this one, I was like, I want to get it right in camera. I want y'all's takes to be uninterruptedly fabulous. I don't want to have to edit around you or edit around, other factors, edit around camera, whatever. And so, I went out of my way to take more coverage and to do more takes and to get more so that Michael Smallwood, I could do an uninterrupted take of your monologue on so that's one of the big ones is just an example of something that I've learned. I on Detroit Awakening, that was the first time I ever did something called a director's breakdown, which is where I, in the margins by every piece of dialogue, mark what the motivation is and why that person is saying that thing, so that when an actor asks me, I have it right off the fly because I have the working memory of a goldfish. So yeah, it's just little things you pick up along the way that I think has been a great way to grow as a director and as a writer in a way that has an audience that gives you direct feedback too. And I also learned don't do fight scenes, because apparently people fucking hate them if they're not high budget.
Don't what? Sorry, I missed that.
Don't film fight scenes.
Don't film fight scenes. Okay.
Sorry, my dog started screaming during that.
She's just pissed about the fight scenes.
She's yelling at another dog. That's what she's doing. She could hear another dog outside.
Trying to start a fight scene.
Sit, girl. Yeah. Sorry.
Anything else you'd like to add, Carla, or are you echoing what Michael said?
Yeah, I don't know if I have anything better than Michael's words. I think just in life in general, wherever you go, there's always going to be some kind of negativity or some type of person who doesn't like you for some reason that you'll never know. Mm-hmm. And with this community, I don't understand how we have only love and the biggest support I've ever seen. So yes.
It honestly does kind of give me a little bit more faith in the internet, because they say don't read the comments. And yes, I get an occasional, 1 in 100 obnoxious or, rude comments. But to have 99% of your YouTube comments just be overwhelmingly supportive is not something most people get. And particularly being a woman on the internet and also not having weird sexual harassment things happen to me ever is also like really cool. So thanks for that, community. So yeah, I think it is definitely a restoration, and like the idea that also if you make something for an audience and you love that audience, that they will support you and that they will show up for you. And it's amazing, like after 3 years, like every single time people show up, they showed up for live streamers, they've showed up for the charity streams, they've shown up for, you know, all 3 films. It doesn't matter how much time has passed, y'all show up. And that's a really great privilege to have. I'm going to go with our final question for today. This one is from Warden Mage's favorite story from set. We talked a little bit about these in New York City, but for the public, what do we got, Cast?
Oh, well, I mean, like the prank. Like
the prank.
The fucking prank. Oh my God. So for those that don't know, I was told, me and Maximilian were told, Maximilian and I were told that Rachel Summers, the DP, was older than we thought, and that was the thing. Like nobody was giving a specific age, and I don't know if you've met Rachel Summers, but she's very clearly 24, like very clearly 24. And so I was like, oh, this is cool. This is awesome young person who's doing the camera work. And I'll be like, and they were like, oh yeah, you met Summers? She's so much older than you think. Everybody said that. They all said the same thing. It was like being in a weird fucking Twilight Zone thing.
You asked me on the porch. You were like, how old is she? And I said,
because multiple people had already said to me at that point, oh, she's way older than you think. And then I was like, yeah, how old is she?
I was wondering why you asked me, because I was like, wow, he's giving me the setup for the prank and everything?
No, cool. I asked you because everybody had already set me up. That's why. And I was like, what the fuck is this? Because in my head, and now to be clear, I never bought it for a fucking second, but I obsessed over it. I obsessed over it because I didn't believe it, which is what made the prank work so fucking well. They didn't fool me into thinking that she was like 42, which is what everybody was implying. But I did obsess over why the fuck everybody was telling me this. It was the first thing we talked about. After every shoot day, literally the first thing we talked about, Maximilian and I get in the car, we're going to go to Cookout and we're going to fucking talk about this shit. And then we wake up, go in a set, first thing we fucking talk about. I'm not talking about the scenes we're doing that day, the things we got to prep. I am obsessing over this. And then finally on the second or third day, I got her to admit it.
Yeah.
I will say this. I said this in New York too. You didn't buy it, but you certainly rented it 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Like,
did it from Blockbuster. Yeah.
A couple of times just to be sure. Like, I don't want to own this,
but
I'm gonna take it home and like watch it, and we'll figure out what's going on.
Yeah, like I gotta see this again. God fucking damn it.
Yeah, no, that's definitely one of mine. I even made I made a video about it for YouTube a few months back for if you want to see Chris ranting about it in real time and actually finding out about it in real time, go watch the vlog on YouTube because it's delightful. So that would be yours as well, Michael, is the prank.
The prank was funny. The prank was quite funny. Obviously, I for me, I really liked. I just thought it was very cool that we had fans on set.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was amazing. Like Chris is right. It's very weird acting with people in front of you. Like I don't film auditions in front of my wife, even when I need help with them. I don't like her being there. So like having fans on set while we were putting together the scenes seems like it would have been really uncomfortable. But it wasn't. It was actually really lovely to meet them. It was cool having them on set. It just was such a nice environment. Having everyone there. Yeah, that's my favorite. I do also. It was very funny that a train came through.
Yeah, and
That was
stopped right outside the building.
It stopped. Yep, it stopped right outside the building, which was very funny because when we were first shooting Detroit Awakening, we kept having to stop shooting the crime scene because trains. We could keep hearing trains, and that was really, really funny. Yeah. And I saw somebody, like, I saw a comment, the thing about theatrical versus film actors. I'm a theatrical actor. I don't mind acting in front of people, obviously. I love stage work, but it's just, I don't know, it's weird. Film work in front of an audience is weird.
It's weird.
It's a different thing. It's different. It's different.
Well, it's kind of like somebody seeing the first draft of your script instead of like the final version is kind of.
I love performing on stage, but I don't want you in rehearsal.
Yeah.
I don't want you in the rehearsal room. That would be strange.
And from a weird point of view, all film recording acting is sort of a rehearsal because it's not the final product until it's like edited with music and like sound editing and all this sort of stuff. So like there has to be that artistry in the post-production, may I say.
And plus also like those performances, like again, like film, like if we did film acting on stage, it would be boring.
Oh yeah.
It would be terrible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now like you have people experiencing film acting in person, which is the wrong way to experience film acting.
Yeah. I will say though, they were glued to that monitor when they were watching y'all do that break room scene though. They were there. And the reason I chose to have, I mean, part of it was logistical, but you know, I think it was good to have fans on set for the break room scene and then the Chris and Nine scene, which were the two scenes that they got to see us film, because these are two scenes that they're already intimately familiar with. So, you know, these are they already kind of go in with this like appreciation for what this scene is gonna. They already know what it's gonna end up looking like in the final product, so they can kind of see the big picture of it. Whereas I think some other scenes, it would just be like, what are they gonna do with this? You know, when it's all edited and said and done. So I think just being able to see like the upgrade in quality of like the location and the framing and everything was already just sort of like big. You had a very what am I trying to say? Like an audience that was primed to support you in those moments, and we're also very professional and polite while they were on the set, and nothing but supportive and hyping you guys up between scenes.
Oh, this is also very funny. I don't know if this is in the documentary, but I made Carla take a nap while we were filming.
No, that is in the documentary. It's a whole thing.
Is that in the documentary?
Yeah. It's great. That nap room shit is funny as fuck. Like, it's because there's a whole sequence where Tasha goes and tries it for the first time, and then you go grab Carla and you put her in this anti-gravity chair, and her face, when you lean that thing back and you're like, you should start being able to feel weightless about here, and her eyes go wide. That's fantastic. Yeah, that's definitely one of my favorite things in the VTS footage, is her trying that nap chair. It's great.
I'm so happy that's in the footage, because I loved that. That was really funny.
Very fun moment.
That might be one of my favorite set stories, actually, is the nap room shit, which was really great. The prank was great. I think my favorite day was the fourth day, actually, though, when we just kind of went home and hung out and signed autographs and watched Transformers and did tarot readings. There.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that was...
Oh, yeah, the offset day, the one day, fuck yeah.
Unquestionably my favorite memory of that whole experience. And, you know, I remember I texted a couple of you after, and I was like, this feels like an emotional reset this week. You know, it feels like I feel... like a lot of weight has been lifted off of my shoulders, you know, going and doing this. Even though I felt exhausted, I was extremely burnt out at that point. I had done 3 movies in 4 months. So the making of the... Yeah, I know. We're about to do 4 in a year.
I know, man. I know.
And what's funny is Michael's been on all of them, so he's just like, yeah, I know. You've done 3 shorts and a feature in a year, bitch. Stop.
I know. I keep telling her.
This is going to be the last one for a while.
Better be.
He's like, I refuse to show up for any movies for at least a year.
I straight up told Michelle that recently. I was like, hey, listen, I love you to death. If you call me, I'm saying no. Please.
Yeah, we were at drinks after the karaoke event, and we're all and like we mentioned something about like, Michelle, you gotta take a vacation. Michael was like, "Are we doing this? We're doing this right now?
We're doing this conversation? Great.
Yep.
Yes. You're taking a vacation. If I have to Tanya Harding your legs, you're taking a vacation.
I'm gonna Tanya Harding your leg
as your friend.
I already Tanya Harding myself last
I
Friday in New York. My ribs still hurt.
There's a clip from Adventure Time from an episode called Princess Cookie, and I just need to send it to you, Michael, because that moment just reminded me of it. Where just the cookie's like, "Who are you? What are you doing here? I'm gonna smash your face." That's
just go ahead and send me that clip. Really appreciate it.
Yeah,
but I want to echo what Michelle said. And Kristen said it too. Like, I like the day we all signed autographs, the day we watched Transformers, the day I got to show Carla the room. Like, the stuff we did offset was just so lovely. Like, I just really love hanging out with this group of people.
Well, we'll get to all see each other again in a few months in Europe. So that wraps it up for today's cast Q&A and commentary. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. And like I said, if you want to see us in Europe, tickets for London and Munich are on sale. You can go to octopunkeurope.card.co and find the places where you can buy tickets for London and Germany. And London only has like 12 tickets left, so get your...
Come hang out. Guaranteed good time. Guaranteed good time.
He's guaranteeing a good time. I'm not guaranteeing anything. Come at your own risk. I'm gonna have a good time. You're gonna have a good time. It's not my job. It's not my job to promise that.
But both events are in July, and so yes, check them out. We have a room rate as well for London for the hotel that we're going to be doing the venue in. So yeah, lots of fun. Octopunkeurope.card.co. You can find all the information. Thank you, Neb, for throwing that in the chat, and on YouTube later I will throw it in the description as well. Like I said, there's only 12 tickets left for London right now, so and then they're gone. So if you want to get into London, not much time left. Munich is open. It's a 400-seat, 100-year-old theater with a balcony and everything. It's great. It's an overkill venue, but I'm really excited.
I can't wait to see this 100-year-old theater. As a theater nerd, can't wait to geek out about that shit.
Yeah. And in the meantime, where can we find you, and what do you have going on that we should be interested in, Michael?
Well, you can obviously follow me on Instagram at Michael Smallwood Forever, or over on Twitter at Mike Loves Gushers. Once again, happy WrestleMania weekend to all those who observe. I will be watching Night 2 tonight. Night 1 last night was Chef's fucking kiss. So that was all great. And if you want to find me and other stuff, you can go watch season 2 of Righteous Gemstones on HBO Max, because that's out there. I think Halloween Kills is on HBO Max. Go watch that. And go listen to the podcast Maxine Miles if you want to hear me play the put upon uncle of a young Nancy Drew sleuth. So definitely check that out, because I'm very proud of that podcast and it's a lot of fun.
All right, what about you, Chris?
Hello. You guys can find me at Trindade on Instagram and Twitter and Twitch. And also, for anybody who is going to watch me on Twitch later, I am officially canceling that stream. I have too much human stuff to do. Also, I'm prepping for a really dope feature. It's called Live Screamers. You guys should check it out. It is basically one giant scene. So it's pretty fucking sweet.
Are you telling me you're not off book yet? Is that what this means?
I'll tell you straight up, I'm not off book yet. I will be.
Will be for sure. Also, by the way, I'm just gonna vouch for myself. Both times I have shot movies for you, I have been teaching other people their lines. That other person being Maximilian. Both times. Both times I have known mine and his lines. So just saying, in terms of my track record, just give me,
I have the utmost faith in you, darling.
We're gonna show up. Don't quiz us today, but we're gonna show up.
Come on.
I'm just
so there's that, but also everybody keep an eye out because at the end of April, on April 29th, a really dope anime movie called Pampo the Cinephile will be in select theaters nationwide. I play the lead in that film. I busted my fucking ass. I worked my day job 5-6 hours in the morning, went home, recorded for 4 hours, and then would go do an off-Broadway play after that. It was a harrowing time in my life, and I loved every minute of it. So hopefully you guys get to see that.
Yeah, it's also Fathom Events, April 28th. There's actually one near me, so look up Fathom Events. I'm going to try to drag my mother. If you're in the chat, come see Chris's movie with me, because
I know. I wish I have a show that night, or else I would also be at that Fathom event.
And what about you, Carla?
You can find me on Instagram. That's basically my only social media account that I am on. Carla HK Kim. As for my future, I'm not allowed to say a lot of things, so we'll see. We'll see.
Ooh, NDAs. Fun.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
We're all intrigued.
Hey, girl, I'll be in your inbox later. I would love to know.
Yeah.
I'll be in those DMs later. I'd love to know what you're talking about.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. As far as streams from me, Octopunk Media, I will be back. Octopunk monthly update in May. We got to go shoot live screamers in the next couple of weeks, so that is gonna monopolize all of my time. But I will be back in May with more Octopunk monthly update streams, also gag reels and all sorts of fun. The American Sign Language version of Detroit Reawakening. More to come at the end of April, but for the next few weeks, I will be pretty radio silent. So this is my last hurrah for April, unless you're a patron, which you'll see me do things because you paid me. Otherwise, as always, stay great, hydrate, and have a happy time zone. Bye-bye.